Hello fellow simmers, and welcome to my first Train Simulator Classic video in literally quite some time. It's Samuel Beeman of BLS here, and I'm here for you today to showcase this new release that has just been released on the British Locomotive Studios website, and also released on the Erecting Shop's website as well. So this was yet again another collaboration project with the Erecting Shop, with the Pannier Ramblers Reskin pack for TS Classic. So this basically includes various mainline and preserved examples of pannier tanks, both the collet variation and the BR94 XX pannier tanks, 9466 respectively in BR black. And yeah, it is an interesting one because this is actually my first time looking at it. I didn't actually have much intel on this. This is something that the Erecting Shop and fellow BLS staff member Daniel Wyatt was working on. So it was sort of a bit under the radar really for me. Didn't really, know exactly what was going on with this or, when it was going to come out. But here it is. It's just been released today. So it was released this morning on the Erecting Shop's website first, prior to this. So obviously he got the first release a few hours early, to opposed to the British Locomotive Studios release as well. So yes, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little quick look around the pannier tanks that you get with the pack, and have a slight drive along a short section of line just to hear some of the sound changes and stuff like that as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this. So we're going to start off with the GWR 94XX class, which is a pack that I did a review on a little while ago. It really is an absolute fantastic pack. I really enjoyed seeing what Victory Works have done with this, because they did an absolutely sterling job on it. And yeah, it's interesting to see preserved variants of the class being represented in a reskin, because obviously 9466 did actually come with the Victory Works pack, but as you can see, these particular versions of 9466 is a more cleaner and sort of certainly a more darker variation of the livery. So as seen here, it's just the preserved BR black colours. The one to the right hand side is just the standard BR black variant, and the one to the left is BR black with high intensity headlights for working on the main line. So this is the highlight version. One thing I will say about these skins in particular, especially on my end, is that they are very black. If anything, maybe it's slightly too black for my liking, but for some people, they may like this. They may like the very dark black to look clean and preserved. I guess I'm just more happy to have something that's a little bit weathered and a little bit worn out, something that's not too black, as it were. So that is the only thing I will say and comment about this. It is very black. However, he has picked out some of the details along here, such as the obviously the linkage there is very represented well. So that's that sort of is picked out with precision there. You can see that it is that it's you can see it. I can't find the words. God help me. Also, I do apologise if I sound a bit like my voice sounds a bit weird. It's because I've had a cold recently, so what they call the freshers flu at uni. So yeah, it has been pretty terrible. But yeah, another thing I do like about this as well, which I have noticed, is the silver buffers here, which have been picked out extremely well. They look very nice. We've got obviously the silver smoke box hinges, and obviously the smoke box dart as well, which are painted silver, or burnished, as some people like to call it. And yeah, it is not too bad. Oh, I do like that. It looks good at the top. Maybe it's because my TS settings are slightly different. Maybe if I alter my TS settings, this reskin will certainly may look a little bit better than what I'm seeing it as. But yeah, I'm not criticising too much of your work, Erecting Shop and Dan, because you both have done a really good job of this pack. I'm just seeing as a point of view as my first look. This is my personal opinion to me, personally. So yeah. Um, but yeah, so before anyone goes and says, "Oh, but you're reviewing a pack that you've released," no, it's something that I haven't looked at. This is literally my first look, guys. This is something that, yes, okay, Dan of BLS did have some work put into this, obviously, with Erecting Shop, but obviously, as I say, it was under the radar, so I didn't have any involvement on this, so it's literally just me looking at it as a first look point of view. But yeah, so in all honesty, yep, they do look very nice, but slightly too black in areas for my liking, but I'm sure that other people really do like these and think that they look smashing. As I say, they've done a good job, but that's just, as I say, my personal opinion to me alone. But obviously we are going to head over to the other Pannier variants now that is included with the pack, and the next one I think is probably my favourite that has been included, and that is 9600. Now, personally, I really like these. Again, it is very black, but it's just something about it, especially this front end here. It looks really, really nice. You know how you've got the overhead warning flashes either side of the smokebox door, and yeah, personally, this is my favourite repaint that comes with the pack. I really, really like it. I think it looks smashing. Again, you know, it is slightly black, but I think what differentiates it is the lining as well. I think the lining. Obviously, because this is just plain BR black, which is quite a boring livery in itself. I think the lined BR black livery, it just makes it look nicer. It picks it out really well, and I think that's why I personally prefer this skin to opposed to 9466, just because the livery as well. You know, it looks nice, it looks smart, and this is something that I'll enjoy using personally. So yeah, so this is 9600. In BR lined black. We also have the high intensity headlight version of the Loco, which is here. As you can see here, we've got the light there, and yeah, it looks pretty smart. I think that everyone watching can agree. So yeah, and then we also have this version over here as well, which is just the standard BR lined black version without the warning flashes. So obviously this was just the one that was just used on the Heritage line and not used on the main line. So obviously these two are the mainline conditioned 9600. So yeah, very, very nice reskin. Definitely my favourite one that comes with this Pannier Ramblers pack. So well done to both Dan and Erecting Shop for making this marvellous reskin. So moving on to the last free reskins that come with the Pannier Ramblers pack. This is L94 in London Transport livery. Something I have noticed though as well is, and this is an issue with a lot of TS content at the moment. I think this happened in an update because it's never used to do this, but it only happens on certain locos. So if DTG, if you are watching this for whatever reason, you're probably not, but just, you know, if you are, take note. You'll see that it has an issue here where the light just, the flare just goes away. But obviously if you go closer, the flare comes back again. It's almost like a collision problem with the flare. And this happens at a certain distance. And I've noticed this has been doing this with certain locos, in certain packs. It doesn't do it to all of them though, which is what really interests me. I know it does it with the JT20, and I know it does it with, I think, the BR Class 52 by DTG, as far as I know. So yeah, so it does it with a couple of packs, and I don't know why it does that. It's something wrong with the flares now. If anyone else has picked that up, please let me know in the comments as well, because I'll be interested if anyone else has that fault. But yeah, I think it's something to do with a TS update recently that's caused that. But anyway, that's me rambling on. Let's carry on with looking at the Pannier tanks themselves. Again, with this version, I I am not keen on this, the fact that you can't see any of the detail on the smokebox door. This could be due to the fact that the sun might be in a different angle on the game, but certainly on my end, you just literally just can't see anything. Um, and I think that's a bit of a shame. Just a personal opinion to myself. I think it's slightly too dark. You can't see any of its facial features, as it were. I mean, can you call it that? You can't see the hinges or anything really, unless you obviously shine light on it, or you know. Um, but yeah, so again, this version is just a standard version without any warning flashes on it. The London Transport livery itself, the colouring is pretty much spot on. They've done a really, really good job on the colouring. That is pretty bang on to London Transport, because I know that there is some slight, debates on colouring on this livery. Like, I believe that the standard Victory Works one was slightly too bright, I think, was somebody's argument or something like that. So, it's obviously been darkened to look and match the real-life prototype a little bit more. And I can tell just by looking at this livery that it is a lot more correct to what is being represented in Train Simulator. So, yeah, good job on that, Erecting Shop. We have warning flashes on this version. This is just the standard mainline version without the high intensity light. You can see the lining is done extremely well as well. It's picked out very nicely. I can't really see any issues there as far as I can see. Yep, it's all picked out pretty nicely, right down to the obviously the connecting rods as well. And then obviously we come out to the final one, which is this one here, which is the high intensity headlight version of the mainline one, which is basically exactly the same as this one, just with the high intensity light. So yeah, so that is basically everything that comes with the pack. So that's in total 8 reskins for the Victory Works Pannier tanks. Obviously, we are aware that the Bossman Games Pannier tanks are in production at the moment, and they will probably be a little bit better than the Victory Works representation of the Pannier tanks. But obviously, for now, obviously as their pack is obviously still in production, this is certainly a gap filler, and it's also good for anyone who owns the Victory Works panniers and doesn't necessarily want to get the new BMG/PLD Precision Locomotive Developments version that will be released. So it's each to their own. It depends who prefers what variant or what version of the panniers, whether they like the Victory Works or PLD. You get to choose. So you will have these, as a gap filler, or just something to download for the Victory Works panniers if you enjoy using the Victory Works panniers. Anyhow, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to have a little drive of one of the collet panniers, which is obviously these versions. Actually, are these the collet panniers, or are these or have I got that wrong? I'm trying to think now. I'm just going to search this up quickly so I don't get this wrong, because if I do get this wrong, then I am an absolute idiot. So GWR 94. No, this is a BR. Yeah, this is a BR version. Design. I don't really know. I'm not GWR veg. But anyway, we're just going to drive 9600 because obviously, it's my favourite version. And we're just going to take it for a spin. So apparently there is some new sounds that have been added by Daniel for the collet panniers. I do apologise if I got this wrong. I don't know whether this is the collet pannier or the 94XX is collet pannier. No idea. I'm not GWR veg, as I say. I'm just, I like them. They're pretty cool. Who doesn't like a pannier tank? But anyway, so this 9600. We have obviously the usual stuff, with the lamps as featured on all Victory Works. Well, newer stuff. So we'll have a single lamp because it will be stopping passenger. So those of you watching and you're wondering what the route is, this is obviously the work in progress British Locomotive Studios Mid Norfolk Railway route. We have actually had a few comments regarding this recently to what's happening with it. So for those of you who don't know, we are still working on it here and there, but it has taken a back burner, and there is reasons, for various reasons really. First one being that Spa Valley Railway has taken the front seat of, route production. So we want to try and get Spa Valley out first before continuing with this. That's going to blow off. I'm just going to pause it quickly. But yeah, so we want to get Spa Valley Railway out first. Get that all finished. Once that's been released, I'll continue work on this. Another issue with this as well is that we haven't yet had like a trip down to the Mid Norfolk to get reference photos for all of the buildings that need to be created as custom assets. So that is something we really, really need to do. It's very, very important. It's a vital thing because obviously custom assets are going to be an important part of this route. Another thing though we have obviously have issues with is the fact that this route uses the original Breckland Line Alpha route by GU Studios as a base, which has now obviously been discontinued. So we are still in talks with Alan Thompson Simulations about how we can get round that and how we can release this, obviously including the assets that were produced by GU Studios for Breckland Line, because there is obviously some important custom assets from that which are being used on this route. For example, the grass and a few of the housing assets and stuff like that as well, I think. So it is pretty important that we get that and we get those assets to come with the route. Another thing that will need to be done on it as well is a track swap, because currently it is using the original GU Studios track, which was obviously released prior to the Just Trains Midland Main Line and all of the new Just Trains route, which obviously used the newer version of the GU Studios track. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to swap out these tracks eventually to use the Just Trains variant of the track, just so obviously it has the snow textures, because obviously this doesn't have snow textures on it, so when it changes to snowy season it looks a bit weird. So yeah, again, it's all something that we need to do for the future. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take this a little way up out of Dereham towards Wyndham. I'm not going to spend too long on this. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so first issue I have noticed with this, is this an issue? Or does 9600 have... Oh no, okay. The 9600 does have a maroon cab interior. I'm guessing that is realistic to reality. I'm hoping it is. But okay, fair play. They've done their research if it is. Yeah, they've done their research. Fair play to them. Okay, so it might necessarily not be an issue. I'm not sure. As I say, I'm not GWR Veg. I don't know what is correct and what isn't. I do love all these features how you can open up the doors and everything. That's really cool. But yeah, so we put ourselves into forward gear. We'll keep that window open. Release the brake. Are we all good to depart? Looks like it. So we'll get ourselves moving out of Dereham. Off we go. Oh, that is different. Oh, that's a new whistle. Fair, so these are the collet panniers. Okay, I got it right. Brilliant, I'm glad I did. Fair play. Right, we got any different B key whistles? Oh. One thing I will say is it's very, very loud. But we do have some new custom whistles, and that is pretty damn cool. Fair play. I like it. Right, so let's head off. I don't think I've got it in advanced mode actually. Fair. It doesn't matter. We're just listening to the new sounds. Yeah, it's the only thing I will say about that whistle sound is it is very, very loud. Like, very, very, like, screeching loud in your ears. Might be worth, like, lowering the volume on that, if it's doable. Yeah, by the way, this coaching stock rake may not be accurate to the Mid-Norfolk. It's just literally something I've just whipped up. I do kind of have a mix and match of coaching stock. But here you go, we are now passing all of the variations of pannier that come with the pack. There we are, signals come off. Now you will notice a fault with this crossing coming up. And this crossing at Dereham is something that's been a bit of a... Oh, it's been such a ball ache. We can't fix it for some reason. It won't register the train. Why that is, we do not know. But it is something we need to work on and fix over time. As we approach over this crossing, you'll see some of the lovely sign work that Steve's done, such as the MKM sign, and all these other like signage, obviously to make it more realistic to real life. We've got Roy's over there, Quick Fit Plus. Well, I say we thought it's really important to get this area correct to Dereham, because obviously Dereham is an area that most people would want to be looking at, so we've got to try and get it detailed as possible. We've also gone to the effort to put in stuff like road signs. We've got Dereham Business Park, Wyndham over there, Swaffham. So you can just see the amount of detail that we put into it. It's definitely something we want to try and get finished in the future. And obviously if anyone is or can offer any support or help towards the project, like whether that's sending any reference material like photos of the buildings and stuff at the railway, please do, because that will help massively and it will get us to, continue working on it as quickly as possible. As you can see over there, we've got the McDonald's, which is all present and correct as per real life. The scenery over here is not complete at all. Again, it's something that we need to finish over time. But yeah, so I think we'll leave the video here. So what do I think of the Pannier Ramblers pack by Erecting Shop and obviously Daniel Wyatt of British Locomotive Studios? Well, I think it's really good. They've done a good job on it. As I say, the only thing I will say is that I think that some of the skins, especially in areas that might be a little bit too black, for my liking anyway. But that's just personal opinion, my personal opinion, obviously. The whistle sound is slightly too loud. I think that could be lowered because it's very screeching in the ear. That's one thing I will say about it. But obviously, it's nice to have the mainline variants of panniers, and it's nice to have more preserved versions of pannier tanks. And it's also nice to have more steam locomotive reskins being released on British Locomotive Studios, because it's something that we don't usually tend to do. Probably about 80% of our content is diesel related, so diesel locomotives, reskins. and about 20% is Steam. Like, it's a very small amount. We only have a very small amount of Steam content, so it's nice to have something a little bit different, and nice to have some more Steam Loco reskins released on the site. And once again, it's been great to collaborate with the Erecting Shop. They are a good bunch, and I recommend heading over to their website as well and having a look at some of their content and what they have to offer for Train Simulator Classic. I'll make sure I link their website in the description of the video, along with the download links to the Pannier Ramblers pack on both the BLS site and Erecting Shop site. And yeah, once again, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning into YouTube to watch this TS Classic video. This has been Sammy Beeman of BLS. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you again in another video. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.